I came home 3 hours earlier than planned and found my 8-year-old daughter hiding under her bed, shaking so hard she could barely speak. At first, I thought someone had broken into the house. Then she whispered 4 words that made my blood run cold. Grandpa said we're thieves. My father and older sister had let themselves into my home while I was away. They had torn through drawers, emptied closets, searched my bedroom, and frightened my daughter so badly she thought she was in trouble. But that wasn't even the worst part.
Because they were searching for something.
And I knew exactly what it was. I'm Rachel Bennett, 34 years old, a single mother, accountant, and the person my family loved to underestimate. For as long as I could remember, my father believed my older sister, Melissa, deserved everything first. Better gifts, better opportunities, better treatment. If there was one slice of cake left at family dinners, it somehow always ended up on Melissa's plate. I stopped arguing years ago. Instead, I focused on building a quiet life for myself and my 8-year-old daughter, Emma. 3 weeks before everything happened, my grandmother passed away. She and I had always been close. While the rest of the family fought over attention, Grandma treated everyone fairly. Or, at least I thought she did. The trouble started on a Thursday afternoon while I was attending a work conference 2 hours away. Around noon, my phone buzzed. It was my neighbor, Mrs. Henderson. "Rachel, are you expecting visitors?" "No," I said. "Well, your father and sister just went inside your house." My stomach tightened. "They have a key?" "I think so." I immediately called my babysitter, Jenna, who was watching Emma after school. She answered in tears. "Rachel, your dad and Melissa are here. They keep opening drawers and searching rooms." "What?" Emma's scared. "They won't tell us what they're looking for." My grip tightened around the phone. Then Jenna whispered something that made me turn my car toward home immediately. "Rachel, your sister keeps saying the inheritance papers have to be somewhere inside the house." I made it home in less than 90 minutes. The entire drive felt endless. Every terrible possibility ran through my mind. Emma crying. My father losing his temper. Melissa making accusations. By the time I pulled into the driveway, my hands were shaking. The front door was unlocked. Inside, the house looked like a storm had passed through. Cabinet doors hung open. Desk drawers were pulled out. Papers covered the living room floor. Even the cushions on the couch had been tossed aside. "Emma?" I called. A second later, she ran into my arms. She wrapped herself around me and started crying again. "I told them to stop," she whispered. "It's okay, sweetheart. I'm here now." Jenna looked exhausted. "They searched almost everything," she said. "I tried to make them leave, but they refused." "Where are they now?" "They left about 20 minutes ago." Emma pointed toward my bedroom. "They were looking in there the most." I walked inside and felt my stomach drop. My jewelry box had been opened. My filing cabinet stood unlocked. Important documents were scattered across the floor. Then I noticed something missing. A blue folder. The folder where I kept copies of legal paperwork related to Grandma's estate. Suddenly, everything made sense. Melissa believed Grandma had hidden additional inheritance documents. She was convinced I had received something valuable and kept it secret from the family. Then I remembered the security cameras. Every room entrance and hallway was recorded. If my father and sister wanted answers, so did I. I immediately opened the security app and started reviewing the footage. I sat beside Emma until she finally calmed down. Then I opened the security app and started watching. The first recording showed my father unlocking the front door with an old spare key I thought had been returned years ago. Melissa walked in right behind him. Neither looked hesitant. Neither looked guilty. They acted like they owned the place. The footage moved from room to room. My father opened drawers while Melissa searched shelves and cabinets. "What are they doing?" Emma's small voice asked from the recording. "Looking for what's rightfully ours," Melissa replied. I felt my jaw tighten. The next clip was worse. Emma stood in the hallway clutching her stuffed rabbit. "Please stop," she said. "This is Mommy's house." Melissa barely looked at her. "Not for long if she's hiding documents." Then my father stepped forward. "If your mother would stop lying to family, none of this would be necessary." Emma immediately backed away. I paused the video. My hands were shaking with anger. They weren't just searching my home. They were intimidating my daughter. I continued watching. The final clip revealed exactly what they wanted. Melissa held up a stack of papers and said, "Grandma wouldn't have left Rachel that property without another agreement somewhere."
Property.
Not money. Property. Suddenly I understood. Grandma's lakefront cabin. The one everyone assumed would belong to Melissa. I saved every recording to multiple folders. Then I called my attorney. After reviewing the situation, she said something that changed everything. "Rachel, according to Grandma's final documents, the cabin isn't the only thing she left you." My attorney asked me to email every document I had received after Grandma's passing. An hour later, she called back. "Rachel, I've reviewed everything." And there was a brief pause. "Your grandmother didn't just leave you the lakefront cabin." I sat upright. "What do you mean?" "She also transferred ownership of the adjoining land parcel 6 months before her death." My heart skipped. The adjoining land covered nearly 20 acres. It was worth far more than the cabin itself. "Melissa doesn't know that," I said. "No," my attorney replied, "but your father does." The room went silent. "What?" He signed as a witness on the transfer paperwork. I couldn't believe it. My father had known the truth the entire time. He knew Grandma had legally given me the property. Yet he had still entered my home searching for documents that didn't exist. That evening, my attorney sent formal cease and desist letters to both my father and Melissa. She also informed them that security footage documented their unauthorized entry and behavior toward Emma. Their reactions came fast. Melissa called 12 times. I ignored every call. Then messages started arriving from relatives. Apparently, Melissa had been telling everyone that I was hiding part of Grandma's estate. That story collapsed quickly once people learned what had actually happened. Several relatives called to apologize for believing her. Meanwhile, Emma remained unusually quiet. The confident little girl who normally filled the house with laughter barely spoke. That hurt more than the damaged furniture ever could. Then 3 days later, my attorney called again. "Rachel," she said carefully, "local authorities would like copies of those recordings." 3 days later, I met with investigators and provided copies of every recording. The footage spoke for itself. My father and Melissa couldn't deny entering my home. They couldn't deny searching through my belongings. And they certainly couldn't deny frightening Emma. When they were questioned, both claimed they were only trying to protect family interests. The excuse didn't help. The evidence was too clear. A week later, Melissa finally stopped calling and sent a long message blaming everyone except herself. My father remained silent. For the first time in my life, he had no explanation that could justify what he had done. Then something unexpected happened. My attorney contacted me with one final document from Grandma's estate. A handwritten letter. I opened it that evening after Emma went to bed. "Rachel, if you're reading this, I am gone. I know some people in the family will question my decisions. They always have. But I chose you because you never measured people by what they could give you. You showed kindness when nobody was watching. You protected others without expecting rewards. Most importantly, you built a home filled with love. That matters more than money ever will." I finished reading with tears in my eyes. Grandma had understood everything. Over the following months, Emma slowly returned to herself. The laughter came back. The fear faded. As for my father and Melissa, I kept my distance. Some boundaries are necessary. Some trust cannot be rebuilt. Standing on the cabin porch one summer evening, watching Emma run across the grass, I finally felt something I hadn't felt in months.
Peace.
And that was worth more than any inheritance.